How's it hanging? I'm Ollotize, and today I'm going to show you how to build hydro dams in Cities Skylines 2. To start off, I'm going to run you through a few tips and things to keep in mind when building your dams. Then I'll show you how I would go about building a couple of different sized dams. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first thing to keep in mind is that the higher your dam is, the more power it will produce. This is because of the amount of distance the water has to fall to reach the bottom of the dam, creating more of an impact on the dam's turbines, therefore creating more power. The higher you build your dam, the more terrain editing you are going to have to do to stop and prevent any overflows and floods. You are going to need to make sure that all your riverbanks before the dam are the same height or higher than the dam itself. You can't build your dam higher than your water source. If you do build your dam higher than your water source, then your dam will never fill up. Therefore, it will never create electricity, as you need the water basically to overflow the dam for it to work. The faster the water flow, the more power your dam will produce, as again it will create more of an impact on your dam's turbines. It's difficult to try and create a fast water flow, but what I've found helps is having a straight, thin, shallow and sloped river or water source. But keep in mind that having all of those I just listed will also reduce the amount of water flowing to your dam, so you want to try and find a happy medium. But it is difficult, so have a play around with it to see if you can increase your dam's power output. To tell if you have a high or low water flow, just take a look at the water arrows. If the arrows are large and pink or purple, then the water flow is high or strong. If the arrows are small, white or green, then the water flow is low or weak. You want to make sure your dam is facing the right way, otherwise it will not work. So basically you want all the little holes or water inlets at the top of your dam to be facing where your water is coming from and storing up. And you want the two strips in the centre of your dam to be facing where your water is draining out. When placing the dam, I've always found it best to give it a curve. This way it always seems to be placed correctly. You need your terrain levels just before and after your dam to be low or deep. Doing this will again help your dam create more power by increasing the fall distance for the water, and this should also fix and prevent any low water depth problems. But you want to make sure you don't lower it below sea level, as you'll have to create a slope on the outlet side going down to sea level for the outlet water to flow out to. Otherwise you'll end up with a big pool of water on the wrong side of the dam, or potentially having the ocean coming up to your dam. If you have lowered the ground before and after your dam, and the dam has filled up and is flowing out water, but you're still having the low water depth problems, then try lowering the ground level a little more before and after the dam. This should help fix the problem. Use the terrain tools to stop any overflows or floods as soon as you see them. Overflows and floods are going to slow your water flow speeds. And of course it's water that is no longer going to your dam, so ultimately they are lowering your power output. So it's best to fix them as soon as possible. So now I'm going to build two dams, one that is small, low and more reliant on a fast water flow, and another that is large, high and more reliant on the distance the water has to fall. This is the one that's likely to make the most power. First I'm going to build a large dam, so I'm looking for an area that's not too close to my water source and a decent bit higher than sea level, so right about here will do fine. So now I'm going to pick a ground level that's a bit higher up from here but is still below my water source height. So that ground level I just got, I'm going to use for the height of the dam. I'm going to level out each side of the river here with that ground level and then widen the river a bit to create kind of a bowl look for the dam to go through and store water in. Next, I am going to place the dam across the bowl I just made, using the curve tool to make sure it's facing the right way. Now I'm going to use the terrain tools to make sure all the river banks coming down to the dam are the same height as the dam or higher, so we can prevent any overflows and floods. So I am now going to lower the ground just before and after the dam, but making sure it's still a bit above sea level being the thick white contour line. This should prevent any low water depth problems. Now on the outlet side of the dam, I am going to continue levelling out the ground at this same height, running all the way down to the river towards the sea, until I reach the point where the riverbed is the same height. You don't want to be raising any part of the river, only lowering. This is just going to prevent any water from gathering on the front side of the dam. If you like, you can use the slope terrain tool to create a slope down to sea level. This will just make it look a little bit more realistic and help water flow out to sea faster. And now it's just a case of waiting for it to fill up, to the point where it looks like the water is about to flow over the top of the dam. And there we have it, all filled up, making a decent bit of power and no water depth problems. And obviously when people are working there, it'll make even more power. Now we're going to move on to building a dam that's a bit more reliant on a fast water flow. So I'm looking for an area that has a strong water flow and again isn't too close to sea level or the water source, and I'm thinking right here will do just fine. I could get a slightly higher height for the dam to sit on, but I don't think I'm going to bother. I'm not going to bowl the river out as it's likely to reduce the water flow strength. So I'm just going to run a straight dam right across here and make sure all the river banks are higher than the dam itself, and they should already be, as I didn't really raise the dam at all. And again I'm going to lower the ground level before and after the dam, but not below sea level. Then slope the terrain all the way down the riverbed to the ocean. And now we'll wait for the dam to fill up again, which shouldn't take as long as the first one. And there we have it, not making as much power as the high dam, but that was to be expected, but it's still running and without any water depth problems. Now, I don't claim to be an expert on hydro dams in life or on this game, but this is everything I've learned over my many years on Cities Skylines 1 and what I've learnt so far on Cities Skylines 2. But if you think I have missed out on anything, then leave a comment down below to help other people out with their hydro dams. If you did find the video helpful, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more helpful videos like this. Hopefully, I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!